Live from Music City, Nashville, Tennessee, this is your motivational, sensational, inspirational, educational, keenly awaited, highly anticipated edition of the Trading Floor with your humble host, Andrew Barbosa, Jeremy Alexander Newsom, with another daily dose of mentally delicious brain food, reminding each of you to love life, live life, and trade it. What's up, boys and girls from around the world? Liz, Timmy, James, Bill in the house. It's Energies Wednesday. I'm pumped. Hope you guys are pumped. Have a lot to talk about. I think we'll review the market kind of quickly today and just talk about what's out there. Not that much going on, I don't think. Nothing. It was kind of a slower day. I mean, it was a little busy, I guess. A little busy, but nothing too intense going on, I don't think. So let me open up this webinar. Here's what we're going to be talking about today. These energy stocks. And again, we'll probably review some of our swings. And of course, anything else you guys want to talk about, just let me know. Happy to comply. So the DIA. We got ourselves a cute little 2-day stair step or pennant pattern looking thing. I still think we go down a little bit lower, so I think we can make some lower lows and some lower highs the next few days. Really just a guess, but that's kind of my thought. Volume is pretty low, so this is kind of like a flag pattern, and this could be like a little 2-day stair step pattern. So I would say if we go lower tomorrow, we probably will continue this slight, very, very soft rollover of sorts. Maybe make it down to here, pause a little bit, maybe bounce, and then roll over. I don't think the rollover will be super fantastically fun. It's not going to be magically delicious like Lucky Charms. It'll just be slowly, ever so slightly more bearish and bullish. So that's the DIA. Nothing to really update us on there. Here's the SPY. SPY, still same thing. SPY actually does have a higher high and a higher low relative to yesterday. Just barely, but it does. So I would say that that could be a little bit of a flag pattern. Again, kind of like this 2-day candle pattern potentially. So we'll really see what it does tomorrow. Here's your exponential moving averages on the SPY. So our stop is above the 10s, above the 20. We failed the 50 pretty nicely. Here's your look on the SPY on the hourly charts. Let me get the hourly pulled up, and let me get this pulled up. Give me 3 or 4 other seconds. Where did this go? Right here. Okay, so here's the hourly, and the hourly chart, we kind of like last time, we gapped down, traded sideways for 2 days, ran into some of the moving averages, and so I think the 20 EMA tomorrow on the hourly could cause a little bit of trouble. And again, I think we could make it down to 191, 192 area. We don't have to, but I can easily see why we could or would do that on SPY. So hourly charts, looking more bearish and bullish. So that's the SPY. Here's the Qs, ticker symbol QQQ. The Qs closed below my more bearish and bullish trigger, which was 104.53 yesterday. It's a little bit more bearish than that. And the IWM, which is the ETF that tracks the Russell, there's some pretty nice candles right there on the Russell. Bearish retest gap. We have a little bit of a support right there at about 113.87, and we're just trading sideways with some lower volume. So my guess is with that little bit of an upper wick, looks good. So really, I guess just kind of hanging out on the IWM, just slightly more bearish than bullish overall. Mr. Doug Baker, per your email that you sent me the other day, your November on the November put on the DIA. Did you do anything with that one specifically? So holding on to it. Have any questions, thoughts about that? So anyway, here's that little pennant pattern looking thing. Again, I do think we're kind of slowly breaking out of that. So it'll really just depend again a little bit on tomorrow. What happens tomorrow? Today was really just kind of almost a perfect inside day candle. Almost perfect. Not quite, but very, very close. So again, kind of cute little pattern. Interested to see what's going on. Doug says holding on to it. All right, my man, keep me posted. Let me know. And I think that's really about it. That's kind of the general market. You guys good? Any questions? Anything specifically you guys need thoughts about? Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I was looking at some reminders that were popping up on my phone. All those things look good. All right, sweet. Let's go check out some energies. USO today had a pretty interesting candle. Here's the USO. down 3.5%. Pretty decent candle, a little bit of a bearish candle there. Again, I'm still thinking that we have a little bit of bullish sentiment there. But I would say if USO breaks this little support, which it could do tomorrow with a close or a gap, you know, if we gap down tomorrow, it would be a black candle, so it would be a bearish retest gap. I still think that there's a chance that we could do something like this, trade down lower and then bounce, and again, form that kind of accumulation type of pattern. Volume did pick up pretty well today. We still have some higher lows. We still have some lower highs. USO, nice little, I mean, kind of like the market, guys. Nice little pennant pattern. Not a lot going on out there that's really, I wouldn't even say superstitious. Just not a lot going on that's really different than the market on most stocks or most companies. So the giant, you know, the market, the general market's kind of an independent pattern. Again, based on this candle, I still am a little bit more bullish, but you have this resistance, you have the 50 exponential moving average. I would think it'd be really, really cool if we gapped up strong tomorrow. We started trapping some people who were bearish today on USO. I think there are going to be some people who are going to try to go bearish, and it could make another low. I just don't know if it will. Here's your weekly chart. And your weekly chart last time, we had a really, really good pennant pattern on the 10 and the 20. Broke that down nicely. Had a few weeks of bearishness. A lot of bullish volume came in. So again, if we do roll over, I think the bears will hop on, and then we could form some type of relative low. So not necessarily calling for a double bottom. Not saying that USO is going to do this. But we could at least begin to form an accumulation phase. Probably would look a lot like this, what we're about to do. So again, you can see that kind of volume that came in. So we could roll over from here. I'm not scared about that rollover. I just think that we would do something like we did before and, you know, maybe bounce at that location, probably. I'm not going to issue the all-out buy for energies yet. I think we got some room to move on that one. ExxonMobil, so this is the weekly chart on ExxonMobil. We're still really just hanging out below the moving averages. They've all crossed. I don't remember where the long-term moving averages are on a weekly chart. Oh, cool, we're below them. I actually did not know that. Well, I didn't know that off the top of my head. Now that I'm seeing it, it makes sense. So we're below the long-term moving averages on a weekly chart. On a monthly chart on ExxonMobil, we're actually also kind of in between the long-term moving averages. So I still think there's some pretty interesting bearish sentiment out there on some of these energies. Today, a little bit of volume came in on ExxonMobil. We got the 77.50-80 bear call spread. Timmy, are you in that bear call spread? I know Dean's in. I know Stan's in. Anyone else that's here in that spread? Timmy says nope. Just didn't know. Again, I'd say that this 71.31, I don't have an exact trigger for ExxonMobil yet. But let me just go with this, say this. I'm going to say more bearish. More bearish perspective. If we close below 71.31, I don't think I'm going to be specifically bullish on ExxonMobil. I'll move the stop down here just a little bit. I mean, if you got triggered in and you had to stop right there at 73.82, that makes sense. Let me show you guys the exponential moving averages on the daily chart. And you can see the 10, the 20. So that stop would be above the 10 to 20. If we can trade sideways another few days, I could make that official. I do like that setup. We have a few other swing trades out on the general markets right now. So ExxonMobil, you know, we got the bear call spread on it. I'm not really in a rush to do a specific trade. October is kind of a short month. Well, October's not a short month, but the 2nd of October is a Friday. So you got 16 days for that to expire. So it'll be 4 full weeks by this Friday. So we still have time on this. That something could happen. But I love the fact that the 50 exponential moving average is at 76.08. I do like that. So let me go ahead and just bring this up here. And this will be my alert for my bear call spread. Alert for the bear call spread. So if the stock doesn't breach above there, I probably won't even worry about it. And by probably won't, I won't even worry about it. All right, ExxonMobil, done. First Solar, a little bit of bearishness out there today. This covered call from my boy Bill did expire worthless. So let me see if Bill's here. He's always here. Bill, there you go. What's up, buddy? What trade did you do on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday? Are you in a covered call? I think I remember you saying that you'd be okay doing the 52. Any updates on this one? Last time we looked at it, we had this little Morningstar reversal pattern. And I said, all right, well, if we close above 48.62, I'll be a little bit more bullish. He says I have a covered call for 53. All right, sweet. What expiration? Probably October. 10/30/15. Okay, cool. Covered call, Bill B. 10/30/15, 46 cents for 53. All right. Any protective puts or anything, or just a covered call? So just covered call. Sweetness. So the last 2 or 3 days, I'll zoom in here just a little bit on First Solar. I didn't get a chance to day trade any of this action, but it looked pretty decent. Starting on Friday, 9/18, you did close below a little bit of a short-term support. There was a bearish retest gap. We did get some of that retest on Monday. We continued lower Tuesday, and then today we had a nice little bearish engulfing candle. So for some of my day traders out there, let me just hop over here to the hourly chart. And I'll more or less say if we continue lower tomorrow, this is, again, just going to be kind of for day trading perspective or my aggressive swing traders. Trigger to keep an eye on a day short swing. Just in case, if it starts making some lower lows, it's a good bearish engulfing pattern. If it gaps down tomorrow, depending on how far it gaps down, if it really gaps far, probably leave it alone. But if it gaps down just a little bit, we'll have it see if it can retrace and see if we can catch that rollover. The good news is we aren't too extended. We did have a nice little white candle yesterday. Bill says after hours is up a little bit. I have it at 43.29, at least right now. I could be wrong about that. It is TradingView, after all. Let me hop in here and see if I can see any kind of extended hour data. Here's the hourly chart. Yeah, pre-market don't have any crazy changes right now, but maybe it can gap up tomorrow. That's always be fun. Yep. All right. So Yahoo has it up $40.42. So if it gaps up tomorrow, the only way I'll be specifically bullish on First Solar is if we open above the high of today. If we open right here, I think that would definitely be a little bit of a bullish gap, in my opinion. That's about 45. Don't know if it quite makes it that high, but I'll say this. If we gap up tomorrow, if you want to day trade this, Bill, I'd actually look for a gap up and kind of a failure of that gap up. If you're kind of just semi-bored and want to see what it might be doing. Kind of like the market, I think that it could make its way back down to 40.97. And then at that point, maybe you could bounce, maybe you could pick up some more shares. And again, that little support will either hold or it won't. Got some lower highs coming in on First Solar, so some type of little triangle. Looks decent. It's a fun stock to trade, that's for sure. A lot of premium, a lot of volatility. Here's the weekly chart. And again, you can see how many times it has bounced off of that $41 or $40.97 price. Looking pretty good. Interested to see what might happen in that case on First Solar. Rock on. First Solar, done. ExxonMobil, done. USO, done. Let's go look at LNG. So LNG actually hasn't really retraced at all. I was more or less kind of hoping it would some to see if we can get a better covered call for some of our traders out there. Our target for our bearish swing trade is $46.95. We got very, very close to that today. I would imagine that we hit it tomorrow. Right now, pre-market, we're up about 24 cents, so we might not. But it did have a decent little rollover. If I can kind of zoom in here for just a moment. Again, volume is really, really picking up nicely on LNG. Here's the exponential moving averages, and we came into the 10, rolled over on the 10 a little bit, and we'll see if we hit the target. So 46.95, I'd be okay for those of you who are in bearish on LNG. That would be all of our position. We'll just take that off and move on. If you are in bearish, you want to take your trigger for protective calls or a stop or however you're playing it. Want to put it at 53.53. I think you could do that also. So that's what we're going to see about LNG. We'll see what that does tomorrow. Again, just a really, in my opinion, pretty healthy bearish break of that 63.35 support. Once we broke that, retested it, volume is really coming in nicely. Any kind of bounce or pullbacks, I think, on LNG will be shortable. Let me find out what our next potential solid support could be. And I think we're getting kind of close to it. Obviously, there's some really, really good support at about 51.89. So 51.89 really could be our next level of support, in which case we probably hang out there for a little bit. I wouldn't imagine, or I don't think specifically, that we really just crush through that without getting some type of bounce. At least I don't imagine so. So there we go. Ray says 56 covered call November week 2. All right. Throw on here for Ray, 56, right at that pivot. Format, coordinates, 56, template, covered call, style. November week 2, Ray Rue. All right, my man. Thank you for sharing your plan, updating it. I appreciate that. So, yeah, there we go. That's pretty much LNG. We'll kind of just sit back and see what that one does. If it trades to our target tomorrow, we'll update that on the worksheet, and that'll be that. All right, LNG, done. British Petroleum and POT, I will absolutely write down on our worksheet. Let's go check out the two other swing trades that we are in, and we're going to officially move some stops on these guys. So Chevron is taking its time. Our initial bearish entry was 76.97, and our stop was 81.55, and have a little bit of a target location at about 70, right at 70. So I kind of like today's candle. It's a little bit of a gap. This could turn out to be, I wouldn't say a double top specifically, but if we start breaking that little pattern, that support on Chevron, I wouldn't be bullish. So if you're still in bearish or you want to add to your bearish position, I think that's entirely possible. I think that could be done. So what I'm going to do is, it's not a really big move at all, but I will take the stop and move it pennies to 80.57. So about $1 off the table as far as our risk goes. Not a lot of move. If you want to consider maybe adding to that position, again, if we do something like that tomorrow and roll over, and you want to have this as your new risk and this is your target, down there at 70, I mean, the risk reward is there. Here's your hourly chart on Chevron Corporation, ticker symbol CVX, and doesn't really have much going on that looks super appealing, at least to me. Yeah, nothing really that fascinating. I guess we're still just hanging out. Here's your exponential moving averages. We did trade a little bit above the 20, failed the 20. We could continue to form something like this on Chevron. I don't know exactly how long that would play out, but we haven't hit the 50 in a very, very long time. So I will say, if you want to have a fun strategy on any of these stocks, either bearish or bullish, but most of them are probably bearish, a lot of stocks have been trending semi-well off of the 10 and the 20 EMAs on the daily. And a lot of stocks haven't hit their 50 exponential yet. So I would say that if you want to look at a trade that has not hit the 50 exponential moving average, that's probably going to be a pretty good short if it can trade into that level and fail it. Again, just kind of a guess, but if there's a stock that's trending pretty nicely that hasn't hit the 50, does something like this, and the 50 comes down, and boop, and you want to short off of it with a good stop, I think that's a really, really good possibility. Ticker symbol ETP, Energy Transfer Partner. We did hit one of our targets today, 43.94, and it finally made it down to that level. So Orchard should be happy. I don't know if he's still in that trade or not, but it did end up moving to a target. So depending on your position, if you're in, you took half off the table. I don't think it's a final target by any means, but there definitely is just a little bit of a support there from that flash that occurred on Monday. Our next target to take the other position off the table will be 41.52. Terry says, what's the significance of coming back to the 50 exponential moving average? Nothing really other than people just like to play off the moving averages. So if the stock is trending and it's never been hit off the moving average, there's going to be institutions, hedge funds, mutual funds. They'll just say, hey, short off the 50, or individual traders. So I'd kind of give you an example. If we look at ETP just as a really quick example, right here, stock was below all the moving averages. They acted very, very good as a resistance back in here. Came down, broke through, trade up to the 50, boop, hit the 50 and just kept selling down. So all moving averages are used by traders. The 10, the 20, and the 50 exponential are definitely some of the favorites. Like if I had to compare them to quarterbacks in the NFL, the 10 is probably Tom Brady, the 50 is probably Peyton Manning, and the 20 is probably Phillip Rivers. But, very, very well recognized popular moving averages. There's obviously others out there that you can use, but the significance is simply that they work, people use them, and it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. They work because people use them, and people use them because they work, that type of thing. And there's unequivocally a price to the 50 exponential on a stock. So for me, if I look at all of your charts, you'll all have a different support and resistance price right there by a few pennies or so. Same thing with down here, right? Unless you're copying my chart verbatim, which is not a bad thing specifically, but just throwing that out there. Unless you copy it exactly how it is, your lines will be a little bit different. But if I come to your house, or when we meet up, Terrence, next month, and you give me your computer and you're like, hey, here's the 50, what do you think? The 50 exponential on your chart will be the exact same as it is on my chart on whatever stock that we're looking at. Or at least it definitely should be. So that's another reason why people like using them, is because they're in sync, right? A lot of people have the similar moving averages because they're the same. So yeah, this would be another really good example of trading to that target potentially. But there you go, Energy Transfer Partners. That's one of our energy stocks that trades a little bit of a target, so that's kind of cool. So ETP off the list, LNG, Chevron, done. Let's go look at Solar City, ticker symbol SCTY. Finally, a really nice little rollover today. So this is, again, a longer term trade, but this is one that we're going to want to keep our eyes on. And I will go ahead and see if I can make an official trade other than this one on Solar City. This is one that some of my traders, I want to get filled on this bear call spread, just didn't get filled on it. Canceled that one, so left that one alone. But for a longer term, as you can see, trigger intraday for longer term bear swing shares or February puts. Just something in longer term to say, all right, well, I'm a little bit more bearish than bullish on Solar City. We came very, very close to triggering into some protective calls. It just didn't happen. Had a nice little rollover today. So let's go in here to the hourly chart. Some volume picking up on Solar City. A lot of good bearish volume coming in today on the hourly. Broke this little support level. I don't have an exact numerical value yet without really changing this setup. I like the setup that we have it because I've been tracking Solar City for a little bit. So I'm probably going to leave this on here. But here's what I'm going to say on Solar City. 9/22/15. Look to short a pullback retest tomorrow. If it retests 46.42 tomorrow or Friday, I'll have a stop at 50 and make that an official trade. Don't know if that happens. I'm just saying if it does, I'll track it more on the worksheet for you guys. But there is Solar City, and that's just kind of what I think about that. So let me do this. I'm going to go to a weekly chart, see a little bit more details on Solar City. It's a shame that the bear call spread didn't fill, but oh well. C'est la vie. C'est la vie, c'est la vie. Who sings that song, Angie? Are you a big fan of that song? I feel like that's just like a girl's anthem. C'est la vie. I think it's a lady sings it. All right, right about there. Perfect. Solar City, more bearish than bullish. Come on down. One for all for one. Panels. Buy one panel, get them all. Buy all the panels, get one. More bearish than bullish. Weekly and daily EMAs look nice. Nice. All right, here's the bearish and Solar City, real life trading. There we go. Been keeping an eye on this trade for a bit. Target, arrow. Target likely 32-ish. All right, there we go, Solar City. Solar City. All right, rock on. So Solar City doing its thing. Let's go look at British Petroleum. And British Petroleum actually did end up triggering something I didn't think it would trigger today. I was watching it pretty close and I was like, maybe it will last until tomorrow. And it was really just a break of the low of yesterday. So yesterday we have a a bullish candle. It's a bearish retest gap. So here's another example of a failure of the 20 EMA. So notice Terrence, boom, failed the 10, 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 and then came up to the 20, failed the 20. So again, next trade will be if it trades the 20. So last time we looked at that trade was on the 9th of September. 9th of September was this day right here, and said if it shorts off the 20 exponential, let's short it. So far that's working pretty decently well. I like the fact that we broke the low of yesterday on British Petroleum. I think we can come up with an official trade on this. It's really just kind of continuing lower, at least in my opinion. And let's get a good risk reward on this trade. So we broke the trade. I'm going to see if we can get a retest at this level. I'm sure we can. Limit sell. Limit sell, 30.05, stop, $30.70. And let's see where we can kind of trade this one into. I think 27 would be a gift. Let me just see if there's a chance we can. I mean, obviously there's a chance we can make it that low. It's a really good risk reward ratio. Why not? Let's try it. Let's let our winners run. I'll put it down here at 27. Let's do target. Publish idea. BP. Looking. Does BP equal bearish puts? BP broke the low of day from yesterday. Yesterday was a nice white candle, and today was the retest. If BP can pull back again, look to trade in the direction of the daily trend. Timmy said, kind of saying oil is going to go lower. Yeah, kind of. Kind of. It's looking that way. Okay, so we trade BP pretty often. That's how I would have it. That's an official swing trade, folks. Don't know if it'll work. Never do. All we can do is just mitigate risk, create a trading plan, and follow said trading plan. Trading is all about consistency and discipline and patience. So that'd be $30.05. Now again, depending on how and if it gaps tomorrow, it probably will. Analyze the type of gap, and if it's a really, really bullish gap, obviously wait on this trade. If it's a very small, pathetic gap, like if it opens right here, just keep that open. But if it opens like there or there, give it another hour or a few minutes. Just kind of check the pre-market before you make that official. I like the trade. I'm not saying it's a bad trade at all. I'm just simply going with, just check the gap. BP gaps a lot. So if it gaps up a little bit, you could have the same risk reward if you wanted to and just move up the stop a little bit and kind of go from there. So BP, let's see what it does. I like the little potential pullback there. Ticker symbol POT. Is anybody selling pot? Mentioned that one a few times in the morning class. POT, breaking a good support, huge volume coming in. Ed Reed asked earlier, is this going to go to zero? And, no, I'm sorry, that was on PBR. He was looking at Petro Brazil. A lot of volume. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 black candles in a row. 5 black candles, look to short the pullback. And that's really about it. Here's your hourly chart. Trend is bearish, been bearish for a while. You have a lot of black candles. I was looking to trade POT bearish at some point today, just kept kind of running without me. So there's the stair step pattern on the hourly chart. It broke below that. I would try to look to short off the 10, 20, and or 50 EMA on the hourly. Timmy said he took 2 bearish day trades on the on POT. How'd they do, Timmy? How'd you do, man? Tell me your setup. Since we're here, might as well enjoy ourselves. If I had to guess, well, I mean, that's exactly what I wanted it to do. But there and maybe there, I don't know. 21.83, yep, low of the day break by 22, and then 21, the exact prices I'm drawing. Nice, Timmy. Beautiful. Man, those are some serious R's, broski. That's probably a 4-hour day, or at least 4 hours from those trades. 2 hours. And that's 2 hours guaranteed right there, and 2 hours guaranteed right there on those 2 setups. Good trade, man. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. He said, "Yep, thank you for just suggesting holding more R's." Oh man, my pleasure. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to do the best I can. All right, so great little moves. POT. Again, if you're trying to swing trade it, just short the pullback on the hourly and keep a close eye on that. We got 3 other energy trades at least to look at from the guaranteed list. NEE, Nextera Energy. Nextera. That sounds like a planet on some type of sci-fi channel. Nextera. Nextera. Was this the one that Dean wanted to short earlier today? Zane? I can't remember. I don't think it is. Timmy says yes. All right. I don't remember it, but it might be, I guess. I know it was some type of energy company. You got anything for me, Andrew? Mike came on. I didn't know if you need to say something. Does my breath smell? Can you hear me, Ange? Testing, testing. I don't think she can hear me. All right, I'm going to mute her just in case. Just in case she gets a phone call or something. NE. Okay, I'll check that out too. All right, so Nextera Energy. Okay, cool. Oh boy, what to do. So last time I was looking at this trade, I was thinking if we close above there, I'd be more bullish than bearish, but potential double bottom. It did close above, and it did kind of retest the neckline. Obviously didn't make it official for a multitude of reasons. I don't know, guys. I think there's other better energy companies out there than NextEra. I'd probably be a little bearish on it. Let's see if there's any bear call spread premium out there. I doubt there will be. If there is, we'll try to play it. Okay, NextEra, October. I'm looking at like 105. No money. Zero. There's money at 100, but that's about it. 105, you got nothing. You got nothing. Okay, I'll move on. You're killing me, Zane. Angie, I think Zane gets a frequent trader point for that one. It's pretty solid. He said, isn't it next? Next. That's good. I like it. Anytime I uncontrollably laugh, got to reward you guys a little bit. All right, so Noble Corporation, just since we had NE on the board, might as well look at it. I know we don't talk about day trades that much. I didn't look at this one. I had to go run some errands. I just wonder what it did or how it moved. 15 minutes. So Dean and Zane were looking to short this thing at some point today. And if I'm not mistaken, they're looking to short it right about here. There by there. All right, cool. Worked out all right. Maybe for an R or something. Cool. Noble Corporation, right on. Since we're here, Noble Corporation, gorgeous little triangle pattern looking thing back there. Kind of a nice little accumulation phase. If it breaks down, short the retest. This is a short the retest, not the breakout kind of market that we were in right now. That's what's been going on for a bit. PSX, I think this is Phillips 66. Phillips 66. All right, last time I was here, Iron Condor is what I was contemplating. Phillips looks a little bearish. Let me see about the bear call spread. I might be a little more bear call spread apt on Phillips. Not massively, but I can just see some slight bearishness out there on some of the energies today, especially if they move a little bit lower. 85, 87.50. Nope, no longer has any money. Okay, so Stan has an August covered call. Let me see if Stan is here on this trade. Stan. Nope, he's not here right now. So anyway, good news is covered call expired worthless. Probably could have done a September covered call. That would have also expired worthless. If I'm looking at this trade, I'd like to go bearish below here. Let me just go look at the hourly chart to see what that white candle is from back there. That could be a target. 76, 76. Timmy said, would you do an Iron Condor? I was looking at it recently, back on the 16th. I said if... I'm trying to think. If I come back to it today and I still like it, then we'll take it. I'm not feeling it. I would say yes. If the Iron Condor had premium, that's what I would be looking to do. So high five for that, Timmy, for recognizing, okay, stock's trading sideways. It's really not doing much. This is probably Iron Condor territory. With a lower high and some lower lows, I'm thinking if it breaks this level, I'm going to be a little bit more bearish than bullish on Phillips 66. I don't have an exact stop. I don't have an exact trade. I don't love this trade. I'm just going to say more bearish, more for perspective. If it breaks that low, you can maybe consider something. Maybe a day trade or a really short-term aggressive swing trade. Because really, once, you have 2 or 3 small supports. So you got a little bit of a support right here for it to trade to, and it could trade down to there and bounce. But then really the next one's down here. So it depends on your risk reward, but you might be able to pull out something on that. So very nice, man. Beautiful stuff. Good opportunity recognition. Let's go look at SE, which I think is Spectra Energy. Spectra Energy did indeed break bearish off of that little support. That was good. This is another one that's just been really taken to the wood chipper lately. Spectra Energy. Let's go into a weekly chart and kind of redraw some lines. I think this is a kind of a higher dividend paying stock. I imagine the next strong support is going to be right. I was about to say, oh man, have we broken that already? Oh boy, we have. Uh-oh. You know what commercial I haven't heard in a long time? Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. You guys remember that? I know you do. Don't act like I'm the only one. Again, this trend really broke down strong back up in here. That's what we were looking at last time. Yeah, I'm a little bearish on SE right now. Again, this is the weekly chart, and we do have some soft support where we're trading. That's kind of why we're pausing sideways here for a little bit. Something like that. I don't necessarily need to extend that. So this is the weekly chart. Let me come back over here to the daily. And the daily chart is looking just a little bit bearish. More bearish than bullish. I don't know if I have an exact trade set up right now, but I could definitely say, well, it's in a triangle pattern of some kind. And if that breaks down bearish, I'm not going to be massively bullish on Spectra Energy. Something like that. So I'd say 922.15. Edge is bearish. It could take its sweet time to break out of that. Leah says, I'm looking for it to put in a bottom. I think the next bottom might be 22.40. This is, I'm kind of feeling this is a wave 4 of some kind, Lita. I'm trying to find out where the 1, 2, 3 would be, though. This is looking like this should be a 3. I'm going to go back to a weekly. That's tough to find the waves on that. This is a little bit of a stretch. It really is. Maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, which means we could trade sideways a little bit more and then get a 5. I don't love that, though. But with these patterns, I would probably wait for a little bit more of a low on SE. So if you're looking like a put sale, maybe do a far away put sale, November, $22 or something like that, potentially. Here's the daily charts. Nice little bearish candle. If there is some bear call spread premium, probably consider one of those, but I don't think there is. All right. Spectra Energy. Questions, concerns out there, ladies and gentlemen? Anything so far? No? All right, cool. Let's hop over here to Amazon. So we said we looked at Amazon yesterday. Believe it or not, isn't that cool? Amazon did exactly nothing. Did a whole lot of nothing. So we got a nice high wave candle, good evening star reversal pattern, and today's an inside day candle. So I'm still with this little setup that we have yesterday. I might just change the time frame. So here's the hourly chart. Hourly chart, if we close below 530.92, I'll be bearish. If Amazon opens with a gap down, I'm still with that. If it closes below, open above the high of today, yeah, I'm still okay on that. So today's the 23rd. So again, I don't know if it does gap or not, but if it does, really in either location takes out this little area. So if we open here, I'm bearish. If we open here, I'm bullish. Otherwise, let it trade sideways. If it closes below here, more bearish than bullish. And if it closes above here, I'm more bullish than bearish. Today was really just, I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better day for something to happen on Amazon. That's looking pretty interesting right at that price. So we got the evening star, inside day candle, lower volume, could be a really good gap. Again, I'm not going to be massively bearish on it, but a close below 530.92, I'm going to be a little bit more bearish. That's Amazon. All right. Guess what tomorrow is going to be? Transportation Thursday, broadcasting live, all things considered, from Gainesville, Florida. At least I hope I will. So tomorrow, let's look at FedEx, Spirit Airlines, Alaska Airlines, AutoZone, CMI, Southwest Airlines, American Airlines, Tesla, Delta Airlines. Anything else you find folks want to look at on Thursday? Could be anything. Could be transport related. Could be stock related. Could just be a stock you have a question on. Doesn't bother me either way. Timmy says, are you doing the morning show? No. Brad's going to be doing pretty much all day. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm getting to Gainesville, Florida about 2 a.m. Which, I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not going to be too tired. I might pop in. I'm just going to say right now I have Brad scheduled for tomorrow, but I could still show up. Kind of as a just in case. Zane says, perhaps a good 401k ETF. All right, I'll put that in quotes. I'll probably say some type of REIT that pays a high dividend, if I had to guess off the top of my head. Anything else? Let's check out some UPS action. Let's see what NSC is doing. CSX. All right, rock on. Let's just go peruse some of our other swing trades. We don't have too many out there, but we'll just kind of check on some of them. Looked at LNG. Etsy, probably going to stop us out tomorrow for break even. Not going to be a big thing. Not going to be a big deal. So the low of today was 14.34. Stop is 14.33. Literally 1 American red cent away from getting trailed out. If we get trailed out here, I'm fine with that. We tried to buy it off the bounce. If it's not going to bounce, it's not going to bounce. Obviously, the 50 is acting as a little bit of resistance. Didn't really act as a resistance there, but I guess it kind of did there and there. So hoping for a gap up tomorrow. If it gaps down a little bit, which it could. Right now it's up 3 cents from the close. If we get 1R is way down here of risk. So again, if we get stopped out, it'll be for a small loss. I'm okay with that. Just go ahead and be prepared that could happen. FCX, we got out of FCX already, and good reason too. I mean, look at that. Great trading to targets. We're out on the 17th of September. So that played out. Update us on Chevron, still in Chevron. We'll look at Spirit Airlines tomorrow. Twitter. So Twitter, still just hanging out, folks. We have moved down the stop to 29.11. I think this is a really pretty looking trade in the sense of you got a little bit of a support right there. We start closing below the 9-9 candle, like taking some closes out there. I think Twitter just slowly and softly rolls over. Obviously doesn't have to, but it could. Men's Warehouse, still trucking lower. Got a nice candle today. If it trades into 40.39, that's when we're going to take all off the table. I don't know if it does, but Monday I'll lower that stop again. I tried to get in more on a pullback and add to our position, but it just didn't trade sideways as long as I wanted. There was the pennant and there was the continuation, and we could have added there, but we'll see. So right now our stop is at break even. It's above the 10 and the 20 EMA on the daily. If we trade into the 10 exponential moving average, I think we'll get a little bit of a resistance there. So right now it's trading down pretty nicely. I don't think it makes it down to 40.39 before we bounce, but obviously it could. So, we'll have to see. PayPal, we looked at PayPal yesterday. I almost said yesterday. I don't know what that is. We did lower our stop just a few cents. Got a little bit of a white candle today. one of the few stocks out there with a nice little white bullish candle today. There's not many out there, but PayPal was kind of one of them today. So I guess we're still in PayPal, still hanging out, doing its thing. Not much else happening. Lulu, update on Lulu, down a little bit. Nice little black candle today. Hanging out. Again, stair-step pattern of some sort, I think. Could continue to trade sideways, but I like our stop where it is. If we get stopped out, we'll lose right at an R. Just a little bit less, but it'll be close. Weight Watchers, we did pull back pretty nicely today on Weight Watchers, which is kind of exciting, I guess, and interesting. We have increased our stop, so if we get stopped out, it will be less than 1 hour of risk on Weight Watchers. Again, this is just one of those bullish trades that if the market's going to roll over, fine, but we have some bullish trades, we got some bearish trades. Buffalo Wild Wings, another one of our bullish trades. So I'll probably raise the stop up on this one on Monday, barely, just boop, right there. Few pennies on Buffalo Wild Wings. We'll see if it can continue higher. Nothing really spectacularly exciting about that, at least at this exact moment in time. Let's see here. Dollar General, still doing its thing. Nothing really fascinating. Again, pretty much trade up to our exact entry. The high of today, 72.07. The place we shorted it last time was 72.05. So if you missed it once, you could have gotten a second chance. I will lower the stop on this one maybe on Monday to here somewhere. Give that one a chance to see what it can do. Bank of America, we're going to look at Bank of America on Friday. This trade's still open right here. Limit sell at $15.98, stop at $16.53. So if we pull back and start hitting some moving averages, great. If it's not triggered by Friday or sometime very soon, I'll cancel that trade and then I'll move up the limit sell to like here with a stop like right there. So again, trying to see if we can short off the 50 exponential moving average on Bank of America. Skyworks Solutions, a little bit of a white candle today. We're positive on the trade, but barely. It's really not doing that much at all. And that's pretty much about it. Everybody likes looking at Apple. Apple, honestly, it's boring. Apple hasn't really been boring that much lately, but it's boring right now. Pennant pattern, no money in the bear call spread. No real bull put spreads I would do. That's about it. So Apple doing its thing. Anything else you guys want to look at? Google. So Google today. We looked at this one yesterday, Tech Giant Tuesday, and look at that, folks. Let me show you into the 5 minutes. So we talked about this earlier this morning, and I talked about looking at this on the 5 minute. Last time I looked at it was right there, and that was a trade that 1 cent away from a tweezer top. So if you got embarrassed right there on Google for this little hourly head and shoulders pattern, I'm cool with that. If you waited for that one black crow candle in the 5 minute chart. So there's your one black crow candle. Bearish entry could have been about here, 658. This is a swing trade because you're looking at it on an hourly chart. This is the one that we looked at yesterday. So again, it didn't have an exact price to say, hey, go short here. Just had to be able to watch the reversal candles, unless you just had a limit sell up there, which is fine. So if you're in that trade, your stop is likely right about here somewhere. At least that's where I was putting it. So mine is 668, 668, 14. So I got to give it a little bit of room to move. But again, it was shorting up here. I mean, obviously I was thinking to myself it could do this and fill the gap a little bit. I mean, this is hindsight at this point. But I will say that you're getting on the hourly a one black crow in this gap. This is the exact trade we talked about yesterday with this little head and shoulders pattern. Trade up into that area. If it starts making some lower lows, again, more or less keyword if it starts making some lower lows, I don't have a huge potential for this. But this risk right here is about a 1 to 2 to the 50 exponential. I'll definitely lower the stop at the 50 exponential and go from there. Ray says, Apple inputs. Nope, I'm not in anything right now in Apple, my friend. If you are, I'm okay with that. I understand it and I see it. Yeah, it did close below my more bearish than bullish trigger, so I've been looking for some put opportunities. Just haven't gotten any good gaps, haven't gotten any good candles, haven't gotten any good closes since. I still think we're forming a pennant pattern. So if the market rolls over, Ray, I think Apple could roll over a little bit. The weekly chart's looking slightly bearish. So we are below at this point officially the 10 and the 50 on the weekly. And that's the first time that's happened in a while. So if you like this setup, I mean, it's, again, good risk-reward ratio. But if the market pops bullish, Apple could probably trade up again to 119, or I would look to short it. The good news is it's going to have earnings in late October or mid-October. So earnings season is here. That could be a really, really fun earnings trade on Apple. In fact, this is probably a decent level if you do have a little bit of a bigger account and or you've practiced straddle strangles before. This could be a good straddle strangle because the volatility as of this exact moment in time is a little low on Apple. Here's your Bollinger Bands. And the Bollinger Bands, they're kind of coming in a little bit. So the volatility has dropped, I wouldn't say significantly, just a tad. It's dropped a tad and earnings is coming up. So if you did kind of a straddle strangle type of thing, depending on what happens with earnings, if anything at all, if it does gap or if it doesn't gap, it could provide a trader some potential opportunity out there on Apple. Netflix, some very, very cute candles today. Last 2 days, really not doing anything massively interesting. But I will say, again, kind of like the market, if it breaks some lows, I think Netflix could make it down to here. I'm okay with the bull put spread. I don't necessarily think that we'll have any massive issues with that. But I'll probably just look to exit if it breaks this support. I don't think I'll be unraveling. So Netflix, just kind of hanging out on Netflix. Alibaba, breaking some lows, heading down to the next support of probably about 58 and some change. A little bit more bearish than bullish. Facebook, I'm pretty neutral on Facebook at the moment. I mean, this is kind of a bullish trend. That I agree with. And we could easily make it back up to 100. And if we do, I might easily consider a covered call before earnings. Or covered call if you have shares. Bear call spread if you're just kind of hanging out. Interested in it doing something. GoPro today, a little bit of a cute black candle, kind of an inside candle. Again, I kind of think that GoPro makes it down just a little bit lower. 10 cents away from the tweezer top on GoPro. Fitbit, I love trading me some Fitbit. Right now, though, don't have anything on it. Got a little bit of resistance that we're battling with up here. No gaps to really intrigue me on Fitbit. At this point, it's just kind of trading sideways a little bit, doing its thing. Shake Shack, looking slightly more bearish. Again, it's kind of hard to short notoriously. You could consider buying some puts maybe, but you got some higher lows. You definitely got some lower highs. You're at a resistance right now. It's kind of trying to form a very ugly double top. But really the next target would be 39.67. We can see if we can buy any at that price down there. GoDaddy, not doing anything really exciting. Shopify had some amazing, amazing bullish bounces due to some Amazon. So last time we looked at it was back in here. If you got a chance to play that, that was on 9:15. So the next morning, I mean, could have been a good buying opportunity. Obviously, I had no idea that it was going to gap up like that, but really, really good mover, this Shopify. Obviously, it appears that it's in a nice little channel. So how do you trade channels? Buy low, sell high. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for being here with me for Energy Wednesday. I'll get my microphone back next week, so my voice will be back to crisp, clean, and normal. But I'll have my just regular computer microphone tomorrow and Friday. Be in Florida. If you have any friends in the Gainesville, Florida area, let them know and invite them, or send them my email, or send them an email to me, or whatever. I am going to have the first ever Retire on 3K live presentation in Gainesville. Kind of interesting because that's where the whole thing started. All my real estate, college, debt paying off, learning how to trade all happened in Gainesville, Florida. So coming back to my roots for the Tennessee-Florida game, as well as just hanging out with some real-life traders and enriching lives. Ladies and gentlemen, have an amazing day. I'll see you guys later. And until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. See ya.